What's up guys, welcome to episode 3 of Banda Inku's Blood Rage painting series. In this episode we'll be painting the Bear Clan, including the leader, warrior number 1, and warrior number 2. I start things off by priming each model with Vallejo's Polyurethane Ghost Gray Primer. Next, I base coated all the skin with basic Skintone. Thanks to using a gray primer, this only took 1 or 2 coats to get solid coverage. If I would have used a black primer, I would have undercoated these areas in white, just like I've done in my Arcade Quest videos, to make painting these skin tones way easier, because painting skin tones over black just sucks. I then grabbed burnt umber and base coated all the fur, bear heads, leg covers, and knee guards. I also apply this to all the areas that will eventually be painted gold, like that center chest piece and all those little armbands. Next I painted the undersides of all the bear skins using Bonewhite. Next I used dark sea gray to base coat the pants on all 3 models, as well as the hammerheads for warriors 1 and 2, and the weapon handle for the clan leader. I then used Beasty Brown to base coat the front cloth, the shoes, and the trim of the water canteens. I then used Ochre Brown to base coat the satchel for warrior number 1. Next, I base coated the wood handles and all those man nipples with a 1-to-1 mix of Ochre Brown and Beasty Brown. I then base coated the shoulder pieces and remaining cloth using whole red. Next I used Terracotta to base coat all the sheaths and the cloth on the leader's staff. Then I used an equal mix of Ochre Brown, Beasty Brown, and Bonewhite to base coat the water canteens. I then touched up the ends of the canteens with burnt umber. Next I hit the eyes on the hammerhead of warrior number 2 using dead white. Then I base coated the chainmail with black metal. Next I washed all the skin and the inner parts of the bear pelts with Seraphim Sepia. Then I washed all the brown and gray areas with Agrax Earthshade. Next I hit all the silver details like the emblems, bands, and ends of the sheaths with Model Air Silver. Then I applied brass to all the chest emblems, knee guards, and accent metals on all the weapons, as well as on all the remaining emblems. I then applied light gray to the client leader's stone as well as the hair on all three models. Then I applied a wash of smoky ink to all the brass areas to start bringing out all those details. Smoky ink is probably one of my favorite washes because it does two things really well. One, it gives metals a really cool weathered, gritty, oily look, and two, it creates a nice natural shade on all those golds and bronzes. If you want to see exactly what I'm talking about, head over and check out my Color Juggernaut over on my Patreon. Next I applied Nuln Oil to all the hair and everything that's silver. I then came back with Model Air Silver and did some edge highlighting on all the silver parts. Next I highlight all the brass pieces using Model Color Gold. Next I dry brushed a 1-to-1 mix of burnt umber and Beasty Brown on all the upper portions of all the fur. I then did a dry brush of Beasty Brown on the slightly higher areas of all the fur to continue adding variation and popping out those details. This was probably one of my favorite parts of painting these models because as you can see right here, with each stroke, more and more details popped out of the model and it just looked more and more awesome the more layers I gave it. I then pumped up the highlights one step further on all the fur by dry brushing a 1-to-1 mix of Beasty Brown and Bonewhite. Then for the final dry brush on the fur and the bear heads, I applied a dry brush of Bonewhite. After finishing all that dry brushing on the fur, I decided that the beards of these guys needed to be a bit brighter, so I went through and base coated all their hair and beards with dead white. I also used this color to pick out all the eyes and teeth on all the bear heads. Next I applied a couple glazes of Bonewhite to all the bear heads to start picking out the details on the ears, the noses, and all the fur around the bear heads. I also use this Bonewhite glaze to highlight the undersides of all the bear pelts and the canteens. Then, on warrior number 1, I used Beasty Brown to highlight that claw on his left shoulder. Then while waiting for that to dry, I picked out the claws with some Bonewhite. I then added a second highlight to the claw using a 1-to-1 mix of Beasty Brown and Bonewhite. I then finished off the highlights by doing a little edge highlighting with some Bonewhite, and then wet blended it together with that 1-to-1 mix of Beasty Brown and Bonewhite to create a smooth transition. Next I highlighted the various brown areas with a 1-to-1 mix of Beasty Brown and Bonewhite. I then did some edge highlights on the sheaths and on the cloth on the back of the leader's staff using a 1-to-1 mix of Terracotta and Bonewhite. Next I highlighted all the skin using the original base color of Basic Skintone. I then highlighted all the gray areas using Dark Sea Gray. Next I came back to the hair and brought out all those details with a thin down wash of Nuln Oil. Then when that wash had dried, I applied some highlights using dead white. Then as the final steps before painting the base, I decided to increase the contrast on the bear head on the client leader staff by washing it down with some Seraphim Sepia and then highlighting it with Bonewhite. Then to finish them all off and to tie them in with the rest of the models from the box, I painted all the bases black. And with that, the Bear Clan is now complete. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in painting your own Blood Rage miniatures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram to see additional Banda Inku content. Hope you'll join me on the next one, where we'll be painting the Soldier of Hell. Bear Clan, complete! Wanderu!